Kim Gould from Love Your Design, and Christos has asked me to do a transit report for the Human Design Festival, which starts on the 17th of June. And there's some really fantastic stuff happening in the human design transits over the week that the festival's on. So let's start with looking at, we've got the full moon on the 17th, and we've got the sun in 12, line 4, and the moon in 11.4. Now, the sun in the 12 is making a channel with Neptune. What that means is Neptune takes things up to a higher level of resonance, and the sun says, there's something about me personally which needs to develop here. So we've got a development of the self going to a higher level of resonance. The 11 and the 12 together, that they complement each other, they're complementary pairing within the chart, and they represent a capacity to go up to a higher level of, as you can see, flow or relationship with the universal energy that lets us move through old blockages. So the thing about this 11.4 is that it's sitting, the sun and the earth on this full moon, the earth and the moon is sitting right on top of the galactic center, which is the birthplace of our galaxy, and which is all about I'm just reading from my own article. The link will be below on YouTube, and it's talking about a bit like a computer defrag, where all the old bits, beliefs and ideas get sucked out, kind of leaving this sense of, I don't know who I am, I don't know where I am, this sense of something's not quite, well, it's not how it used to be. When we're used to holding tight to a stable way of perceiving the world, an activation to the galactic center might leave us feeling quite exposed, confused, and vulnerable. And the next stage is that we receive new ideas that might feel out of the box, like a flash of brilliance. Now, the 2212 channel here with Neptune and the sun in it, that represents our capacity to come together in social interactions and feel safe enough to let go of the old blockages, the ways in which we protected ourselves and kept ourselves safe. And in that relationship, in that social interaction with other people, to find an individual mutation that wasn't available to us before. So that all fits together really beautifully. Now, what we also have down here in the 53 is something quite extraordinary, which is happening with the nodes at the moment. So we've got the 54 and the 53. The 54 being the south node in the 54, and that's meeting up with a dwarf planet called Haumea here in the 32. Haumea represents a new birth of pure consciousness. So again, we get that refinement of spiritual energy with the Neptune being reflected here by Haumea, which is saying that we are refining, finding a new sense of ourselves, a higher, if you like, frequency of ourselves. And gate 32 is partly about what we bring that's of value to the tribe. So we're actually upgrading our sense or shifting our sense of what's of value. If we look at the north node in the 53, we can see that on the first day of the festival, we've also got Mercury in the 53 and Mars in the 53. Really quite amazing. And this is part of this format energy here. Now, in the 42, we have another dwarf planet called Eris. Now, Eris and Haumea are creative. All of the outer planets out past Pluto were named for creative gods, creator gods and goddesses. So these are creator goddesses, and these are energies that orbit out past Pluto. They have a very powerful effect upon the chart. Eris is about how we come together with other people in order to be able to, without losing our essence, and to draw us towards a potential for a new kind of relating. Now, that new kind of relating is really about being able to bring this higher resonance of ourselves without all the protectiveness that we've needed in our old tribal space. You know, when you're growing up and you learn all these things are wrong with yourself, and actually when you meet your human design, you realize that actually these are the really great things about you. So Eris is actually helping us to be able to find our place within a greater collective with the gifts that we actually had hidden inside ourselves and keeping them safe until now. So the potential within the chart during the week is that we are able, through this interaction, to step out of an old sense of who we are, and to be able to come to something much greater and to find the value of that in interacting with other people. Now, if we go to the solstice chart, which is on the 21st, so still within the time frame of the festival, we have Mercury and Mars have gone to gate 62 here, and Chiron's in the 17. Now, we have another very interesting activation here, which is an asteroid called Solaris here in the 62. And Solaris represents the masculine as cannon fodder, if you like, the old energy that men just need. They're good for sending off to war. And Solaris represents this shifting pattern of what is the purpose of men within our culture, and stepping away from violence and death and these kinds of things, and finding a more creative way for men to interact into the world. So I think the fact that it's making a channel here with Chiron, woundedness, Mars, the masculine, Mercury, our connection with the gods. So what is it that, what are men stepping into now that they weren't able to do before? So I think that's a really significant combination as well. Nemesis is there as well. So there's this thing of like, all my life I've been working towards this particular thing, getting over this particular challenge, dealing with this particular issue. So there's a sense of resolution of that as well. Now, also in the 17, we've got an asteroid called Ophelia, and she's the feminine who's like, I'm just dying here because all you blokes are just interested in politics and war, and you're missing the point. You're missing the real point here. So there's a potential for a huge shift there, I think, with that 1762 activation. Overall, in terms of what's going on during the period of the festival, the sense of Mars and Mercury moving together with Nemesis really indicates a shift in the masculine energy. And for women, particularly, what that means is, I've talked about what it means for men, but for women, what it means is that you get to find the more active principle in yourself. And that's been building and building and building over the last month or so, in particular with Pallas Athene, which won't go into that, but that's really active as well. So come along, have a great time, and step outside your comfort zone, get some amazing new ideas, lift your resonance, and connect with people in an entirely new way, because that's what that week's going to be all about. And I'll see you there. Bye.